So, everyone, we're going to try this again. I just lost 14 minutes of good feed because I can't put videos together on my mobile phone. And I just got a phone call and I wasn't even done with the video. So, we're going to try this from the top. I'm not even going to post the video anywhere because, even though it's 14 minutes long and can go on Instagram, it's not finished. I don't post my unfinished poop out there for everybody to look at. It's just not my style. Maybe I'll put it in a blooper reel or something. I don't know. But anyways, um, I'm not going to, if this runs over 15 minutes, it's not going to go to Instagram. They're just gonna have to come here, okay? I've been telling them to get their sorry butts on my YouTube channel for them to watch my content. Nobody wants to come watch the content. So if they miss out, they miss out. I'm gonna post something there, let them know that it's here, because I know everybody likes my vlogs. It's just some people need a little push. Speaking of a little push, like the Joker and Batman, who is crazy, guess who else is crazy? Oh, it's been a long few days, huh? I haven't vlogged in a couple days. First things first, I noticed a pattern. I noticed a pattern with my videos, and it's that you'll notice it too whenever you actually look at all my videos that I posted so far. It's like hat, no hat, no hat, no hat, so on and so forth. And then it's all caps, no caps, all caps, no caps, all caps, no caps, so on and so forth. So, knowing me, I'm probably going to keep that alive now that I know it's there. Just crazy. And another thing, now that it's out on the table that I'm crazy, I say that I'm crazy because the other night, we all know I've been very open with my vlogs about how I am feeling. Feeling down a lot, upset, depressed, anxious, everything, just everything. So it would make sense for me to want to find a way to escape all of that. My way of escape is apparently unhealthy. It's, there's about 40% of escape, and we shoot it with shots. If you don't know what I'm referring to, then you're either in middle school or you're very naive. Because I'm not going to say openly what I was doing that night. Whoa! Look at this guy! Look at that guy! Go! He's just everywhere! That guy. Oh my goodness. He didn't interrupt me last time. Last time he just chilled. But I'm not going to openly say what happened because I'm not in the habit of incriminating myself. I'm not going to actually say what was going on that night. And now it sounds more suspicious, but I'm not going to say it. Anyways, while I was in that state of mind, I was trying to escape my pain. I wasn't doing it for fun. I wasn't doing it for a laugh. I was doing it to chill out, to numb myself and calm down. Surprise, surprise! Backfired. Horribly. Don't do that if you're trying to calm. If you're trying to numb yourself or get away from pain, if it works, it'll work once. It'll work once. And the reason I say this is I got one text after having enough of these shots to be in a certain state of mind. One text about someone that I care about set me railing and spiraling all over the place. So now I'm freaked out and texting everyone and trying to tell everyone, I'm not trying to ask people for help to save that person. The person's an adult. They can take care of themselves. I come to grips with that. I'm texting everyone because I've had enough of my burdens for over 5 years, and I've just had it. I want somebody to talk to. And in that state of mind, I was like, I deserve someone to talk to, so I'm going to talk to everybody, and I'm going to talk, and I'm going to get help. I'm going to reach out for help, because in my current state of mind, I would never, in a million years, reach out for somebody's help. Ever. Because I don't feel right doing that. I don't feel right talking to somebody, because, as everybody so delicately put it the night that I did reach out, they've got their own problems. Nobody needs to deal with mine. Nobody needs to cope with me. Which is why I don't tell anybody. I talk to people about what I'm going through, what's going on with me, but I'm kind of vague. I'm open. If you ask me something, I'll be open about it. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not a liar. I won't openly interject everything that's going on and everything about how I feel into to somebody because I feel bad. Because that's a lot of weight to throw onto somebody. So I carry all of my own weight, and it gets pretty heavy. And the next morning, when I woke up, I realized that I need help. Mainly, it's because of all the people who called me crazy and blocked me. There was more than one. Yes. There was more than one who called me crazy, but only one blocked me. They follow me on other media, just not a certain media. It's not Snapchat. No. You get that out of your mind. I didn't do nothing inappropriate. Dirty birds. I'm not a dirty bird. Anyway, when I got up the next morning, I realized that I need help. If I don't find it, something's going to happen to me. I'm either going to have a mental breakdown and somebody's going to force me to go to a hospital, or I'm going to go in the ground. Won't be a need for a hospital, because that's where I'm at right now. That is my mental capacity at the point in time that this is taking place. So I reach out to a family therapist that has been our therapist for a few years. I've never went to see him. My mom and dad and my sisters have all been to see him at least once, more than once, an occasion for my sister, my younger sister, and my two parents. So I reach out to him because it's about time that I have help from someone, somewhere. And this is where it starts to get fun. We're going to end out with how things ended that day, and then we're going to move on to the next day. That day, I stressed out all day. I freaked out. I was anxious all day. I did something very stupid. The person that I care about is in a tough situation. They can't talk to me. They can't. And if you know who it is, keep your mouth shut. Because no one needs to know who it is. Because that person is not supposed to interact with me at all. Quite the opposite. That person is supposed to kill me on sight. Allegedly. So I can't reach out to them in their tough situation and talk to them all day and be there for them all day and comfort them or talk to them or ask them if they need me all day or try to get a phone call out of them all day. And that is exactly what I did. No thought process into that whatsoever. They did wind up calling me later that night after I had freaked out and had been anxious all day and depressed all day, building up and building up and building up and not letting anything out. And on that phone call, had at it. We just had at it. It was a match. It was whatever you want to call it. It was 30 minutes of pure agony and hell. Towards the end, I had realized that I made the mistake. They told me that they would reach out to me. They would call me. They would text me. I just needed to keep my ball in my own court, you know. I didn't need to reach out to them. They would reach out to me. I was making them uncomfortable by being so needy, their words, and they just didn't feel like they needed to be talking to me right now. And they're stressing out about everything going on around them. Which is, suffice to say, I'm stressing out about everything going on around me. But, you know, we talked it through, came to a realization, you know, we didn't hang up screaming at each other. We just, you know, we hung up on a good note, thankfully. Because if we wouldn't have, that would not have, that would have been terrible for both of us. I know that we both would have went off the deep end. But you know, I was able to sleep that night. I was able to eat, even though it was a little bit. I was able to eat some, and go to sleep. Well, the next morning, my appointment. The next day, I wake up. My appointment is at. It's at whatever. What time was it? It was 2 o'clock. I have an appointment at 2 o'clock in Sulphur. That's a 44-minute drive. It is a 44-minute drive at the shortest time, which my dad wanted me to take the longest route. But it's the most familiar one, so I didn't really have a problem with it. And what time? What are we at? We're at 11. It's not too bad. But whenever I need to use the Yukon, I have to jump it off. We just realized that if you turn it off and leave it off, at this point, we thought that if you turn it off and leave it off for any amount of time, it does not start on. It does not start. You have to get somebody to jump you. Okay? Well, not only does the Yukon not start, it needs gas. Gasoline. So that it can go forward. Forward, backward, side to side. Okay? So I talk to my dad. He gives me some gas money. And I go to therapy. Unthinkingly, not knowing how I'm going to get gas. But also knowing that my car is probably going to die while I'm in therapy. And yes, it did. I mean, therapy helped me feel a lot better. If you feel like you're in a low place like I was, and still am, you know, at various points in the day, if you feel that low point, you feel like there's nowhere else to go, you feel like nobody wants to listen, you feel like nobody needs to listen, pays to have a good therapist. A good one. Not a quack, not somebody who's like a rent-a-fair, you know. A good therapist who listens and interacts and talks to you and knows what they're talking about. He was very helpful. I had an itch on my leg. He was very helpful. And after my session, we realized that my car was not starting. It was raining. I've come to the realization that now, being single and depressed as I am, I'm willing to take more risks than I was a month or two ago. I'm willing to do a lot more. Take certain risks, do certain things, because I don't fear it anymore. Bring it on. And while it's raining, I love the rain, by the way. The rain here is awesome. It gives you an escape. As long as it keeps raining, it's good. As long as it keeps raining. If it rains and stops, it's terrible because everything becomes humid and it's too hot. It's too hot for that mess. Especially in Louisiana. Come on, Louisiana, you could do so much better. But so we go out there, realize my car won't start, so I get everything ready. And my therapist's next appointment shows up. So I'm there in the rain with jumper cables for an hour. Because you can't blow them off. I understand that. You can't blow off a therapy appointment. If you're going to therapy, you have to keep that appointment, especially if you're the therapist. You got to be there for your patients. But after an hour, he comes back out there, gets his car ready for me to jump mine off in the rain. I was kind of hoping I was electrocuted. Maybe get some superpowers. Maybe I could be the Flash, Black Lightning. I could be a really good Black Lightning. Anyway, so after I jumped it off, we were having a conversation about how I was going to get gas. So, needless to say, I told him directly, well, since I'm depressed, I'm willing to try fueling it up while the car is on, because I can't turn it off. No one will jump me off if I turn it off. And he said, well, I'm going to just let you do that. I'm not even going to try. Because he knew the situation with the car. And I explained to him, I've seen people do it and they don't die, but you're not supposed to do it because something could happen. Well, I go to the nearest gas station that I'm going to make it to. The car is redlining, by the way. That's the only reason that we're doing this now. It's because the car is redlining. And we think that every time you shut the car off, it dies. It will not start unless it's jumped. So I pull in. I don't even pull up to the gas pump because I want to be able to keep an eye on my car because I have to leave it on. So I run in there, use a couple extra bucks to get a drink. And I don't know if anybody else gets this, but whenever I'm at a gas station and there are people around me, I start to freak out. Because these people will be waiting on me to pull out my money and put it on the counter and take care of all of my business at the counter. Doesn't matter what it is. Anybody else get stressed out or freaked out or anxious knowing that the other people are around them or waiting on them? Because that's me. That is me to a T right there. So, and I don't know why I say this, but I look at the man. He's like, hello, welcome to the store. How are you? I overdid the accent. His was not near that strong. But he's like, how are you? I'm like, good. No, I'm not good. I just got out of therapy. I'm actually stressing out a lot right now. I have to fill up my car while it's still on, and I may die. I may die. I don't know. But now I'm trying to pull the money out of my wallet, and now it's not coming out, and I don't know what to do. And he just looks at me. He looks at me like he's watching me try to kill myself. Like, he's just like, I need 20 on pump 4. And he's just like, no, but he's looking at me. And I give him the money. And while I'm trying to pay, I don't tell him I'm at a pump, because I'm not at a pump yet. Remember, I pulled right up to the store. And he just looks at me, and then he looks at the lady. I noticed she was walking up beside me, but I thought she was talking to the guy, so I'm not paying attention to her. He looks at her, and then he looks at me, and he's like, you ever try our chicken? I'm just like, no, I've never tried it. And she just straight up hands me a wing. Straight up hands me a fried chicken wing. And she starts handing me all these menus and stuff, and she's just like, well, we do this and that. Our chicken is always fresh, it's always greasy, it's always delicious. And then if you want pizza or whatever, you can look at this menu or anytime. We'll have it right for you. And she's trying to sell me on the pizza. It worked. I couldn't afford it, but it worked. I really wanted that pizza whenever I left the store. But, after we did that, he rung me up, and I'm just like, I start to walk out, and then I jump back, and I'm just like, wait a minute, I didn't tell you what pump I was going to be at. He's just like, man, I got you. What's your car look like? I said, it's that black Yukon right there. He said, we'll find you. We'll find you at your pump, and we'll assign it to that pump. I'm just like, oh, okay, cool. Back straight up, don't even do much else. Just back straight up, right next to pump 3. And I get out, hand a little bit of stuff in the car. Got to organize it with all the new papers and everything. Get everything in order. Have to keep reminding myself to keep it turned on. And I start eating that chicken wing, and I start walking over there to the pump. And sure enough, I pull it out. Starts to fill up. And I'm like, that guy got me. Yeah. And I was excited because I didn't die yet. And I'm eating that chicken. It is really good chicken. That's some of the best chicken I've had. It was really good chicken. Made me want to go in there and use what little money my poor butt had to buy as much chicken as possible. Man, I wanted that chicken. I wanted that pizza. So good. But, I was able to get a half tank, almost a half tank, and leave there satisfied without dying. And I went and picked up my sister and her cat. I didn't want to pick up her cat. Her cat made the car smell like litter, like cat urine, the entire car ride. It wasn't until we went to Rouse's on the way back that I discovered that you can leave the car off. You just have to come back to it as soon as possible. Because if you don't, it will not start. That would have been good to know when I was pumping gas. Because we go into Rouse's, and Monet's just like, well, what do we do? Like, are you going to come in with me? I'm just like, we're going to try something. I turn it off, and I just tell her, we need to be back out here as soon as possible. The battery's not going to be charged forever. She's like, okay, got you. So we run in there, we grab her sushi, we grab my salsa, I grab a bag of chips, and we're out of there with 2 Slim Jims. And we come home, we get out there, sure enough, it doesn't start right up, okay? It needs a little bit. It needs a little bit of finesse, but it starts up. So now we have learned that you can leave the car for a maximum of 3 hours at the most, as far as we know. You can leave it for a maximum of 3 hours. And it will still start. Granted, tonight, we hit the maximum of 3 hours. We went to a friend's house to chill out so that I could get out of my house. Because apparently that's why I'm not eating. That's what's causing me depression is my household. So, yeah. He told me I couldn't do the shop thing anymore because I'm not doing it recreationally. I don't know if I already said that or not. But, man, I don't get to do that no more. It's just something I don't get to do. I don't smoke cigarettes. I don't puff the reefer. Like I don't do none of that. I don't even get to do that no more. But that's how we found out that it can go for 3 hours because it almost didn't. It almost didn't whenever we left. Like I had to just hold it, and then slam on the gas, and then boom, came on. And then, the other exciting thing is that when we went over there, I got pulled over. I got pulled over by the cops. And it was somewhat beautiful. So, Monet is giving me directions to this friend's house, my older sister. And we're coming down into DeQuincy. This cop is following me from the highway, turns onto the same road as me, and my sister says, oh, you need to turn here. Here? And then I turn on my signal and get in this lane. And then she's like, oh, no, wait, no, over there. And then I'm just like, I get over here because I think she's pointing beyond a truck that's right there on this side of the road. And then she's like, no, right here. So I don't even signal. I know there's nobody behind me. I'm not going to cause an accident. I know the cop's behind me. And I know he's tailing me. But I'm going to miss my stop. And instead of being smart about it and just going a little further down the road, I'm thinking in my head, he's about to pull me over anyway. So I immediately I try to flip on my signal, and I just go straight onto that road. Just pull out and everything. And that's when his lights come on. His lights come on as soon as I hit that road, and he stops me, and I'm having an anxiety attack right there at the steering wheel Monet's trying to calm me down, and I'm just like, this is it. This is it. Dad's never going to let me drive again. I'm never going to drive. I'm never going to. He said if I got another ticket, I was never going to be able to drive. He's gonna see that my license is flagged. He's not going to let me drive. By the way, um, the person that I had the phone call with the other night reminded me that, oh, you haven't paid the taxes on your vehicle in a couple months. So your license is flagged. If you get pulled over, you're going to get arrested. Just letting you know. Thank you for the vote of confidence. Now I am sitting in my car freaking out because I think I'm about to get arrested. Guy comes over and he's just like, hey there, I noticed that your taillights aren't, your brake lights are kind of out. And I'm just like, yeah, I know that too. I know. I know they're out. It's okay. They just do that. They go out. Yeah, and one of them's, it's showing white. You're not supposed to have white light. I'm just like, yeah, I know. He's just like, oh, okay. Well, can I see your license? You took kind of. He didn't even tell me anything else. He just talked to me a little bit about my brakes, my brake lights, and he's just like, can I see your license? And I'm just like, oh, okay, cool. Monet tried to speak with the cop a little bit, get him to kind of chip her up, and he was cool. He was cool the whole time. I shouldn't have freaked out. This guy was really nice. Monet he was wearing a donut. He was wearing a donut badge on his shirt. And Monet asked him about it. She's just like, what's up with the donut? He's just like, oh, we had a daddy and daughter thing at my daughter's school. I just went there and chilled out with my kids for a little bit. We hung out. And, he laughed and she laughed and everybody's having a great time but me. Well, he goes back to his car and I'm immediately thinking, oh God, he is running my license. I'm about to get arrested. Sure enough, I see another cop car rolling in. It parks on the corner of the street. It doesn't turn on the street yet. It parks on the corner for a little bit. And then he moves right behind that guy and starts talking to him. Immediately, my mind starts racing even faster because now I'm going to get detained. Going to be arrested, detained, mom and dad are going to kill me, the car's going to get towed, everything is just going to fall to pieces. So after what feels like hours, the guy comes back along with his compadre. His compadre comes up on that side. He comes back up to me and he said, because I imagine he hears me talking to Monet. Because she's like, it's going to be okay. You're not going to get arrested. You're not going to get arrested. I said, no, it's not okay. 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 And I'm getting louder. And that's whenever he comes up to the window. And I realize he's up at the window. And I'm in the middle of saying, it's not okay. It's not okay. It's not okay. And I look at him. And I'm trying not to look crazy. So I look at him. And I'm just like, I'm sorry. I'm battling with something. And he just looks at me. He says, it's okay. I got you. And he looks at me. And then he says, man, I tell you what, I didn't write you up for the taillights. I'm just going to give you a warning. I did incite you for driving across those lanes without signaling. You need to get something done about your brake lights. You can't have white light. But you can take care of this. I got the information right here. You can pay it. We'll do whatever. This will not show up on your driving record. This will not, your dad won't even know about this, even if he looks it up, he won't know about this unless you tell him. So you're going to be okay. He won't know about it unless you tell him. It's not going to show up anywhere. It's not going to show up on your record as long as you take care of it. Your record is clean. You ain't got to worry about it. And I just look at him and just relief all over my face. I'm just like, oh, thank God. He's just like, yep, you don't even got to worry about it, man. I got you. And when he's just like, wow, you're one of the coolest cops. And he points behind and he's like, he's one of the cool ones too. And she just looks over there. She's like, whoa, because she didn't even notice that guy walked up over there. And she's like, yeah, he seems pretty cool. And we laugh, we say goodbye, drive safe, whatever. Drive off. Coming home, I was a little bit paranoid about the taillights because now I'm driving in the dark. It's even more obvious about the brake lights. Because whenever he was talking to us and before he went into his car to process my ID, for my license, he said, "Can you do your brake lights for me?" So I start pumping the brakes, and then he like, and he walks back to his car. That's whenever he figured out that one of them is working, one of them's kind of iffy, but one of them's got white light. You can't have white light. It's too bright. So here we are today. Here we are today at 30 minutes. That's twice as long as it would be on an Instagram video. So you guys are going to have to come here to watch full content. Because I am not cutting my slack no more. I'm going to let it all out. All out. I'll let my crazier side out because I have to let things out now. You know. Like I said, therapy really is a big help. Okay? Like if you got nowhere to go, if you don't feel like you got nowhere to go, if you don't feel like you got anywhere to go, therapy. And I've only had one session, and I'm feeling really good about it. I go back next week. And, you know, they're really cool. They have a couple rules, you know. You know, if you, whatever you say in there does not get repeated. Nobody says it to anybody. They're not allowed to tell anybody that you're in there unless you give permission to tell them to tell that specific person that you're there. So nobody's allowed to actually say anything about you unless you give them reason. Like if you say that you're going to keep cutting, or if you say that you are going to kill yourself, if you feel like you're going to kill yourself, they do have to tell somebody because you're a threat to yourself or to others. If you become a threat like a child abuser or something like that, if they have a right to feel like you're going to attack somebody or yourself, they have to report it. But they're still going to work with you. They're still going to talk to you about it, and they're going to work with you through it. But they have to report stuff like that. I mean, them's the breaks, but it's worth it. It's worth, you know, whatever you got to pay to get in. So, but I'm going to try to improve. I don't know how I'm going to deal with the whole work situation. Like when I get a job, I can't drive my vehicle because I don't have money for parts and I have to fix it to be able to drive it. But I can't drive my mother's vehicle because I have to jump it off and work is longer than 3 hours. So I would have to jump it off every time that I used it. Every time. And I doubt that I would be able to pull that off at work every day for weeks at a time. So, but I'll cross that bridge when I get there. Whenever I get work, I'll worry about that. Hopefully we can fix it before then. And if we can't, hopefully somebody who knows me and is a friend of mine will help me find work with them so that I won't have to worry about that till I can fix my own car. Then I can go work somewhere else. But that's pretty much it for this vlog, you guys. I was trying to catch you up on the past couple days, and it would have been over sooner, but I got interrupted and lost the feed. So we're gonna stick with this one for tonight, you guys. I think this one turned out better anyways. So y'all have fun, y'all live good lives, y'all be careful, y'all be safe, and y'all reach out. Okay? No lie. Y'all reach out if y'all need it. I'll try to do my outro here without